On this show, we cover some sensitive topics.
Though the obituaries may be outlandish, the people are real.
Names have been changed or omitted in order to respect both the deceased and the survived by.
While death is no laughing matter, some petty last words can provide some pretty entertaining comic relief.
Welcome to Obituary. Welcome back to Obituary. I'm Spencer Henry.
And I'm Madison Reyes.
And we are running thin.
Oh, honey, we had a week.
Okay, we have so much to talk about. Well, in last week's episode, at the end of it, we kind of got into it. We're like, okay, we'll tell you guys next week.
What a shit show.
What a shit show. Like, obviously, okay, we don't want to become like these like people who are complaining all the time.
Oh,
but
hi.
I swear to God, something's up because we got our entire system basically went out midway through recording.
Yeah, I don't know
last
if you
week.
guys could hear the difference. We tried to fix it as much as possible.
Yeah, we were like fucking with the audio, but it just completely went out. So we had to like stop, go to a store, get like
Guitar
a new
Center.
Yeah, we had to get a new mixer there, and it was just a shit show. But hey, it worked, and we actually like this one a lot better. So hopefully this sounds nice for you.
Yeah.
But that was absolutely crazy. And then so Gossip Spreadle is out, which is so exciting, and even more exciting, by the time this goes out to all of you, Obituary, the big hot book of death, will be out in the world.
In the world. I cannot wait to see it in a fucking store.
Are you kidding me?
I mean, we're going to go. We're going to go to
we have to
stores.
go to a store.
And we're going to take pictures.
Oh yeah.
And we're going to have a full thing.
Imagine every store, they're like, never heard of it.
Yeah, they're like, we put that one in the way back. It's gross. I know we brought our trainer an advanced copy and he like had it on his gym bag. And I'm like, put it away. There's all these gym people. They're going to know we're crazy.
So excited. We'll actually be, I think we'll be in Tulsa, Oklahoma the day this comes out. So
Oklahoma.
there are still some tickets, I think, for most of them. And so if you want to check them out, you can go to obituarypodcast.com. And also, we are doing 4 live shows this fall. We're doing September 14th in Chicago, September 21st in New York City. October 4th, we will be in Seattle. And October 25th, we are ending our fall tour in Boston, Massachusetts. So make sure to get your tickets if you haven't already.
We have such a fun show planned out. I'm so excited.
Last year's tour was so much fun.
So much fun.
But the way we're doing this one is just I'm fucking stoked. I'm really excited about it. And that's again the only shows we're seeing a lot of requests come in. That's the only shows we're doing this year. We're obviously going to try and do some live shows next year, but we're not sure yet because we have some new projects that we're starting to work on the back end already.
I hope you guys aren't sick of us.
I know. I see when we were putting out Gossip Bridal and the book and everything, I get like kind of self-conscious sometimes. I'm like, are we just
like oversaturating?
Yeah, are we like overdoing it?
You know what?
You guys would tell us.
I hope that it's like there's something for everyone. Maybe people won't love something, but they'll love something else.
I just want everyone to love it all.
I know.
I really see my love language is like words of affirmation.
Me too.
And so I love reassurance and I love to be told that I'm doing a good job.
More than anything.
So I chose the wrong career for that probably.
I know. With some of the emails.
Oh my God. We got an email today. I won't say exactly what it said. I won't say exactly what it said.
We got fucking dragged.
But they were like, oh, I was really excited for the release of this show. But it was kind of anticlimactic. And we're like, oh. Okay.
Okay.
Well, I'm just going to throw myself downstairs.
Yeah. I'm going to lose my mind. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Oh, God. But you know what? It's all good. You know what actually is really cool? is that like part of like what I've learned in therapy and just life is, you know, working on gratitude. And it's something that I work on a lot. I know you do as well. But like that's always the most. I love doing my gratitude list. I don't do it every day, even though I'd like to. Some days I forget, but I always pull out my notes app on my phone and just throw a few things in. It's just cool because I'm always grateful in terms of like work. I'm always grateful that we get to work together and that we still have so much fun doing everything together.
Yeah.
Even when things are stressful or heightened or whatever, it's like I still feel like pinch me every day.
Sometimes we can get into funks like we did the other day, but
perspective. Because
like,
when you break down why were we in a funk, it's like because we were so excited about this and we wanted it to go out to you guys.
Yeah, it is pinch me. If you had asked me 3 years ago,
Oh.
I couldn't have dreamed a better work life.
And I don't even care if it's annoying because I feel like we talk about this a lot. But it's like, it's true. I'm so sorry for being grateful.
Oh my God. You know what? Just to shift us a little bit, can I read some poetry? I saw this the other day and I just thought it was so cool. I do have a listener email too, but I just feel like this might fit in to what we're kind of talking about. Okay, so we all know George Carlin, the comedian. He wrote this poem and I just thought it was so cool. It's called My Next Life. I want to live my next life backwards. You start out dead and get that out of the way. Then you wake up in a nursing home feeling better every day. Then you get kicked out for being too healthy. Enjoy your retirement and collect your pension. Then when you start work, you get a gold watch on your first day. You work 40 years until you're too young to work. You get ready for high school, drink alcohol, party, and you're generally promiscuous. Then you go to primary school. You become a kid, you play, and you have no responsibilities. Then you become a baby. And then you spend your last 9 months floating peacefully in spa-like conditions, central heating, room service on tap, and then you finish off as an orgasm.
I love that.
I love that so much.
I love that. I would never want to relive what I've lived, but like I love the idea of like having all this perspective as you go into young adulthood and teenage years and your 20s even, because there's so much stuff that you would obviously do differently.
So different.
Wow. I really like that
cool?
way. Yeah. Maybe that's the next life. Maybe when this life ends, you get to like reverse it.
Reverse it. Benjamin Button.
Yeah. Oh my God, I'd love to
that.
be young.
It's so cool. You get the dying out of the way, and then you just come back and get to just do it backwards. And I feel like the world would be a much different place.
Yeah. I feel lucky that like I love my 30s. Like, I feel like a lot of people make it sound like 20s are like, this is your time to be young and fun and like all that, which like in some senses, sure. But I feel like 30s are where it's at. Like, I love it. And I hope that 40s are even better.
40s will be even better.
30s for me are like pretty lit. Like,
yeah,
I love it.
I know.
I feel like you're more sure of who you are. 20s is just like for me, it was such like a figuring out who I was, what I was doing, that kind of vibe.
Yep.
30s is kind of like still figuring it out, but like without so much guesswork and with more tools.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, and less bullshit.
Yeah.
I mean, there's still plenty of bullshit.
Yeah, but you can't bullshit a bullshitter.
You can't
And you're looking at two of them. Okay, wait. I have some fantastic Am I the Assholes for today. And this first one says, am I the asshole for not giving up my inheritance?
Okay.
It says, hello. My estranged mum died a few years back, and her estate is finally being distributed. There isn't a will, so it should be split equally between me and my half-brother, her only kids. However, my brother, who she wasn't estranged from, has told me that he thinks she'd want it all to go to him, so I can waive my half if I want. My relationship with my brother only really took off about 6 months after she died, as we didn't meet until after the funeral. I'm conscious that not agreeing to the request could put that relationship in jeopardy, but a cynical side of me also wonders if he only built the relationship with me to then ask me to do this. I also have my own kids to think about. My own sons are in school, and if I were to put the money aside for them, it could be of great use to them when they're adults. To be honest, I'm not really sure what I'm going to do. Looking for advice and don't know who the hell to ask.
Do not give up your half.
Don't give him the money. Don't do it, man.
What the fuck?
Oh.
He really thought he was going to pull something.
Oh my God. Admire the effort on his behalf, but no. Do not give him the money. Oh, you could just sign away your half of the inheritance.
Oh, although I wish I was born yesterday, honey, I wasn't.
Okay. We're not living life backwards.
As much as I wish I was dead yesterday, honey. Oh, God.
No way. No. Wills are designed to be a certain way. Respect them.
Wait, did I tell you I thought my sister sent me her will yesterday?
You texted me, hold on, BRB. My sister just sent me her will.
I totally read her text wrong. She was like, I'm gonna send you this. I'm manifesting this. And my will or something. And I will. So something. I like read it so fast and I was like, why the fuck is she sending me her will? But she didn't.
I love it. Okay. We're going on a journey with this next one because this is actually from 5 years ago, but it's one of the most commented Am I the Assholes in Am I the Asshole history, and it involves a funeral, so I wanted to share it.
Okay.
It says, would I be the asshole if I take over planning my funeral from my very religious parents?
Okay.
Hello, all. Well, if it isn't obvious already from the title, I am dying.
No.
I don't feel the details are super relevant to the issue at hand, but for those who are curious about my ultimate demise, I have cystic fibrosis, and after 2 rejected lung transplants, I've been told there isn't anything else they can do except keep me comfortable in my last few weeks. I've begun my preparations for my funeral and such, and while I was thinking it would be a breath of fresh air in this whirlwind of death, I could not have been more wrong. Now, on to the title. My parents are both strict Southern Baptists and want a very traditional funeral. This includes hymns to be sung during the memorial, a casket and graveside service, a viewing, countless prayers during the memorial, scripture to be read, etc. My issue with this is, well, everything. I am the complete opposite of my parents. Not religious, I curse like a sailor, drink like the Irish, you name it. Everything they are wanting and attempting to plan is not me as a person. I've somehow made it to 25 and managed to meet the man of my dreams and marry him last year, and he is torn. He wants me to have it exactly as I want, he just doesn't want to have to deal with my parents after the fact while actively grieving.
Yeah.
I understand that.
Yeah.
I have 2 siblings, one of which is a clone of my parents, and one that is a mixture of my parents and myself. I want my service to be one full of laughter, funny stories and pictures, upbeat music, cats. My husband and I are avid cat lovers. I want confetti and shit. But more importantly, I want to be cremated and put in a fucking cat-shaped urn.
Ooh.
I told my husband I wanted my ashes to be handed out like party favors so my family and friends can take me home with them because I love to travel, and he looked horrified. My parents are absolutely not on board and are essentially planning everything how they want, attempting to take me shopping for a casket, flowers, picking out hymns and verses, the whole deal.
Wow.
I'm obviously not very pleased, so I guess my question would be, would I be the asshole if I took control of my own funeral and wrote a will to be followed exactly how I want it? I understand my parents are grieving, and I've tried to compromise with a mixture of both my views and theirs, but they aren't having it. I never thought dying would be so fucking stressful, and I just want to enjoy what time I have left without leaving a bomb of emotion and disappointment behind. Please help.
Wow. That one's crazy. No, I do not think they're the asshole. If you are able to plan your own funeral, that's incredible. I think that you should get it exactly how you want it.
Yep.
But we do also say that funerals are for the living. And if you don't want to leave your partner with a ton of stress from your parents, then maybe you got to give a little. I don't know.
It sounds like she was, though, because it sounds like the writer of this was very much like, I tried to compromise with them and meet them in the middle, but they're not having it. No.
Yeah.
It's your fucking funeral. You get to do whatever you want with it.
That's true. And hopefully her parents find some beauty and some comfort in hosting a funeral and knowing it's exactly how she wanted it.
Well, we had an update that came a while later, and it says, "Hello, everyone. First of all, thank you for all the kind words, support, and love that everyone has offered and given. These weeks have been the most difficult I have ever experienced, and it is with great sadness that I tell you that my beautiful and cat-crazy wife has passed."
Oh, I just got I got goosebumps all over.
I've had to cut this short due to character limits. Sorry, all, but she did leave you a note, Reddit. I've copied everything verbatim below. She truly loved everyone and was smiling so much after her first post. I'll take my leave here. Much love. Oh my God, sweet. It says, Reddit, if you're reading this, I am dead. Pretty crazy to be talking to a dead person, huh? It feels a bit strange to be writing this. If this feels a bit disconnected, I'm sorry. I have to take frequent breaks as I get tired pretty quickly now. Aww. My husband offered to write these words. Such a sweet ham, I know. Be nice to him, okay? But I wanted my last words to be written by me. Long story short, we talked to my parents. A lot of people asked about why my husband wasn't planning the funeral and my parents were taking control. Honestly, my parents didn't take the news of my passing to come well, and I suppose their closure was to try and take control of what they could. I'm not angry at them for it. I understand. They had already prepaid a large portion of the service, and to put it plain and simple, it was a shit hand they were dealt. So we talked to them, I laid it all out for them, and somehow we reached a compromise.
Good.
Lots of tears, lots of hugs, and surprisingly, lots of laughs. They admitted that they had been losing their faith with everything that had happened, and their way to attempt to find it again was to take control and guide me into the afterlife. Not my thing, though, and I explained that I am not them, but their daughter, who wanted to live her last weeks in peace, not the turmoil they were putting me through. And while a lot of people stated that funerals are for the living, true, I firmly believe that a funeral is for the living to remember that person as who they were, not what anyone else wanted them to be. My parents seemed to understand when I told them that. They were not on board with the party favor aspect, though. Kind of a bummer. Pretty lucky to plan my own funeral, honestly. But now that that is all said and done, thank you guys. I was blown away by the responses. I was moved to tears, and I wish I had the chance to meet every single one of you. You all be good now, all right? Take it one day at a time and fucking enjoy yourself. You only get one life. Unless you're someone who has survived death, then you're just a fucking hero and probably a cat with a few lives to spare. I love you all. I'm resting easy now. This disease sucks, and I'm happy to be rid of it. And laugh and love and cry and be sad. Shit happens. I've got to go now. I'm going to go snuggle my husband and my cats. Keep it real, Reddit. Love you all.
Oh, talk about perspective. That gave me goosebumps.
So sweet. It kind of answers the question. It's like, she made the good point because we literally just said, you know, funerals are for the living.
Yeah.
But then she's like, yeah, but it's also for the living to remember the dead person, how they wanted to be. So I don't know. I thought that was a cool one that
was
I came across.
So cool. That was moving.
Emotional, even, I'd say. It made me like teary-eyed, especially when I first read it. I'm like, oh my God, like this is incredible. But yeah, I thought that was cool.
That was so cool. I do have a listener email that's short, and it's about a funeral.
Let's hear it.
And it's funny.
Okay, let's hear it.
Okay. Hey, girlies. I just left my husband's grandpa's.
Oh, I was like, oh my God. Okay, that's not that funny.
Oh, what?
Hey, guys, just left my husband. Yeah. I mean, hey, we'd support it.
Hey, honey, maybe it is, happy. I don't know.
Yeah, we love it.
I just left my husband's grandpa's funeral and knew I had to write in to tell y'all what happened.
What happened?
Not only did I know this was going to be a shit show from the beginning, there's lots of family drama, but my husband is now traumatized.
Oh, no.
My husband doesn't do funerals. They make him super uncomfy. Well, we went up to the front with his cousin to pay our respects. His step-grandma was going on and on about how sad she was. Mind you, his grandpa had dementia, and she tried to divorce him and take everything he had while he was in an assisted living home.
Oh.
So we all rolled our eyes and kept our mouths shut. Then we get up front, and my husband's uncle walks up and palms his grandpa's head like a basketball. and shakes it.
Why?
It shakes the whole casket.
Why?
I don't know. My husband's eyes get so wide, and he said, Jesus, you are going to pull his damn head off. His cousin starts hysterically laughing and tells him that is not how it works. He was so rattled he had to go to the parking lot and smoke. Fast forward to the actual funeral, and the preacher keeps going on and on. Can you just imagine someone walking up like... I love it. I'm going to do that next time. Fast forward to the actual funeral, and the preacher keeps going on and on about memory loss and how dreadful it is. We were all looking at each other confused. Like, Jesus Christ, if he had been murdered, would you have beat that dead horse too? It's true. Oh, did I mention he had 7 grandkids and 4 great-grandkids? The only photos displayed were of him and his 3rd wife, a photo of him and 1 grandson, then several solo photos of that same grandson. I wanted to lay the solo photos of the kid down. It wasn't his funeral. And they didn't sign their name. Or maybe I cut it out. I don't think I cut it out. I just don't think they signed their name. But that was fucking hilarious.
Thank you for that visual.
Thank you so much.
I love it. Oh, God, that's good.
Oh, gosh. Well, I'm up first this week.
You are?
Which means you should have a little side bitch. And I have to fix my microphone because I am like about to touch my forehead to my knees.
All right. I have a cat for my side bitch.
Oh, perfect.
Perfect. And it's a cat named Steve V, who passed away. It says June 7th, 2004 to August 17th, 2023. And what I loved was that it's posted on like a pole.
Oh, like a telephone pole.
Yeah, like a telephone pole. Like you would put like a missing cat poster.
Yeah.
It says obituary. It says, Steve ran the Sheridan neighborhood of Northeast Minneapolis with an iron fist paw. Steve only had one eye, but don't let that fool you. She could still see the stupid shit you were up to.
Ooh.
Steve only bit one person. He was a decorated Marine veteran, and he didn't listen to the words coming out of Steve's mouth, so he found out the hard way. Steve punched up in weight. Steve was the best cuddle kitty of all time. She loved being vacuumed because she wasn't scared of the goddamn thing like all these other bitch-made cats.
I would love if the dogs let me vacuum them.
Steve was a girl with a dude's name because I'm a dude with a girl's name, and we're in this together. Steve didn't give a fuck what the internet said. She loved canned tuna. Steve didn't exactly love kids, but she didn't hate them either. She let them hold her for a photo op. Steve was smart, funny, lethal, and cuddly. She was also annoying and loud as hell at times, but hey, who of us isn't? Steve was the best cat a guy could ever want. I loved her more than anything, and I miss her tons.
That is the best.
I thought it was a cute one. I love that this man loved his cat so much. He's like, I'm fucking printing out an obituary and putting it out there.
People need to know about Steve.
Uh-huh. Rest in peace, Steve.
Rest in peace.
I hope you have 8 more lives ahead of you. They say cats have 9 lives.
Yeah, but hers are done.
Oh, I don't know. Okay, anyways, let's take a break. And when we come back, we'll hear what had you spinning in your coffin. We'll be right back. And we're back. What had you spinning in your coffin this week?
Terminal lucidity had me spinning in my coffin this week.
All right, terminal lucidity. Tell me more because I have been having trouble sleeping. You know that. I've been waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning every day, and it feels terminal to me.
Okay. Well, it doesn't have anything to do with sleep, honey.
Oh, okay.
Okay, but it's also known as the post-mortem surge or...
So I'll let you tell it. I have guesses.
Okay. Or the terminal rally, or even called rallying. It's this incredible end-of-life phenomenon where a person who is dying, or in the end stages of their life, typically from a long-term illness, suddenly becomes incredibly lucid.
Yes.
And or has a big surge of energy.
Okay, I'm so happy you're talking about this. I've wanted to know more about this because I've heard of this happening. Yeah. I haven't experienced it with any of my loved ones, but I know people that have told us pretty incredible stories of it.
Uh-huh.
So I'm excited. Okay.
It is incredible. Like researching it, it makes me cry. It makes me it's so insane.
Tell me everything.
Okay.
You're like, no, that was it.
That was it. Yeah, sorry. I was finding finding my place. Okay. The stories are just so incredible because there's such like a stark difference. So like, for example, someone suffering with dementia or Alzheimer's may not, you know, on a daily basis know who anyone or anything is, like especially towards the end of like the end stages of it, and then will all of a sudden remember everything and speak to you as if they were perfectly healthy, like as if they had no ailments at all.
Okay.
Another example would be someone suffering from a terminal illness and they're like in hospice and, you know, on a bunch of different things to try to keep them comfortable. Sometimes they're even like slightly sedated and then suddenly have just this burst of energy, like nothing is wrong at all.
Yeah.
And it's so incredible to me. But many experts say that this is really fleeting, often only lasting minutes, maybe hours, and on rare occasions it can last days, but it often gives family and loved ones this insane false hope.
Yeah, well, that's one of our friends, actually. Do you remember? She was telling us this happened with her brother.
Yes.
And it was like, she's like, her family's kind of religious. And so they were like,
It's
oh
the
my
praying.
God, you know, like there's this miracle. He's going to be okay. And she was kind of like, had to be the one to be like, you guys.
Yeah.
This is not what it seems like.
Right. Like miracle. I love a miracle.
Oh,
Miracles can happen.
They happen on 34th Street. They happen everywhere.
They happen everywhere, but.
They happen in the form of whip.
Oh my God.
Who doesn't love Miracle Whip?
Oh my God. Daddy. I love it.
I hated that, actually, that you just said that. Go on. That was something when you were at the gym and you called me after and you're like, I just called David mommy.
No, our trainer put me into this fucking crazy stretch called a pretzel, which I don't even know what that means, but it's basically a pretzel. And it hurt so bad that I screamed. I was like, oh, mommy. And he's like, what the fuck? I don't know. It just came out.
You just be saying shit.
I know. I just be saying shit. Okay. So yes, there's false hope. And one of the closest people to me in life has dementia, and it's a really wild experience.
Yeah.
And I'll go into depth with it one day. For now, I won't. But there's a huge part of me, like while I was reading this, that hopes and prays that I get to experience
That makes me want
terminal.
to cry because obviously I know who you're talking about. Oh my God.
Like
Yeah.
just like to have one moment with their old self, like kills me. Don't cry. Don't cry. Stop.
Oh my God. I love this person so much too. And oh man. Woo.
Yeah,
It's heavy. It's heavy. That's
yeah.
real though. Fuck. But I would love for you to experience that too.
Yeah.
Oh man.
However, the more I read about it, the more that I do understand that once someone has this extremely lucid moment, it usually means that death is hours or days away.
But still, it's like getting to have that, like, that moment of clarity.
I want to be like, I wrote a book. And like,
yeah. Well, because truly a lot of this started right when everything kind of started with obituary.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was very similar timing. And so this person hasn't, like, really known much about what you're doing.
I interact with them on a daily like, you know, but it's just that like processing it, like things that I've accomplished or other family members have is like not something that's
it just
really
doesn't
there.
register.
Yeah. So hopefully there will be that terminal lucidity one day, far away, hopefully not anytime soon. But researchers still don't really know what causes this sudden lucidity. It's kind of a mystery and even crazier because it literally goes against our understanding of what happens to someone's brain who has like a dementia or Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
There's also something known as paradoxical lucidity, which is also a sudden burst of lucidity, but these can happen at any sort of time, not at the end of life. So maybe all experience a paradoxical lucidity.
Well, I wonder how that ties into, like, you know how some people, I forget the actual terminology for it, but like they're very lucid in the morning, but then at nighttime.
Sundowning.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because I feel like I've had relatives that have, been really sick with cancer, and it's kind of like mornings, great, perfect, but then nighttime, no idea who they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy. They're basically the same thing, the paradoxical lucidity and the terminal lucidity. It's just one isn't at the end of life, whereas terminal lucidity is. It's definitely a phenomenon that I've read is really understudied. The name terminal lucidity is fairly new. So this German biologist named Michael Nahm coined the term in 2009. He published an article in the Journal of Near-Death Studies called Terminal Lucidity in People with Mental Illness and Other Mental Disability. It does focus more on mental illness with the terminal lucidity, but he is the first one that coined the term. And then he lists things called ELEs, which stand for end of life experiences. And this is
we know an NDE, but not a ELE.
I know. And these are things that we need to look into. So he talks about deathbed visions, telepathic impressions, synchronistic acoustics, or physical phenomenon such as knocking sounds, I guess someone hears at the end of life, emanations of mist and shapes, the ability to perform bodily movements or skills shortly before death, which seemed impossible before, and the reemergence of normal or unusually enhanced mental abilities in dull, unconscious, or mentally ill patients shortly before death. So he elaborates more on those last few. This is not, it's a new term, right? Like a newer term, but it's not a new concept. They were studying it in the 1700s and the 1800s. There's an example in his article from 1815 that says, quote, in Britain, Andrew Marshall published a number of cases of terminal lucidity in persons with mental illness, including a report of a mad and very violent ex-lieutenant of the Royal Navy, who also suffered from severe memory loss to the extent he did not even remember his own first name. On the day before his death, he became rational and asked for a clergyman. With him, the patient conversed attentively and expressed his hope that God would have mercy on his soul. An autopsy revealed that his cranium was filled with a straw-colored water to a degree that it widened parts of the brain, whereas the brain matter itself and the origin of the nerves were uncommonly firm, the olfactory nerves displaying an almost fibrous appearance. So,
interesting.
This is from 1815. But also, one of the United States founding fathers was a physician named Benjamin Rush, and he tried to explain this terminal lucidity. He thought that the brief return to awareness could have been triggered by the nervous system's response to pain or fever at the end of life. There was another man named Carl Friedrich Burdock. He examined the brains of deceased people who experienced this phenomenon and saw changes such as blood accumulation, brain enlargement, and softening in some areas. And then a physician named Johannes Frederick looked at various reports of terminal lucidity, and he suggested that brain impairments might briefly improve before death because of a decrease in brain water, like fluids in the brain.
Okay.
There you have it with that. I did want to know how common this phenomenon was, so I headed over to healthline.com, who had an article about terminal lucidity, and they say, quote, terminal lucidity is an under-researched area of study, and there are very few actual studies published on the subject. Because of this, it's difficult for experts to say how common these episodes of lucidity actually are. However, in one early study from 2018, researchers investigated reports of terminal lucidity in patients at a teaching hospital. Out of the 338 reported deaths, there were only 6 episodes of terminal lucidity, and all patients died within the 9 days following the the episode. 9 days.
Wow.
That article also explained that one study surveyed caregivers who experienced a patient who had a lucid moment, and 72% of them found it really positive, but 17% of them found it really stressful.
Oh.
Which, I mean, probably because they know it's a sign that the end is near.
Yeah, I mean, that's stress. Death is stressful, man.
Yeah, really fucking stressful. Okay, so now I have 2 sweet stories I want to read that I found about like a family member explaining their loved one having a terminal lucidity moment. First, these 2 stories were actually, I believe, written about in The Guardian. I'll link the article. But a woman named Kay had a father named Ward. Ward was 83 years old. He had suffered from dementia, and he was put into a nursing home when his dementia got pretty bad. He had become really disoriented, and he didn't even recognize his daughter, Kay, anymore. The article quotes her telling the story. It says, quote, "When I went in," she says of her later visits, "he didn't know me at all. That Christmas, he refused to eat. Finally, I just told them, bring him Jell-O. He likes Jell-O. Red Jell-O. And he looked at me really deeply and said, so I suppose the Jell-O's gonna be my last meal. You're gonna try to starve me, huh?" And it goes on to say her surprise wasn't just at his coherence, but that the tone of this reply was undeniably her father's dry humor. Later that night, nurses told Kay when children visited to sing carols, tears streamed down Ward's face. Kay becomes emotional recounting it. "Don't cry," a nurse told him. Ward looked at her. "If you were in my position, you'd cry too," he said. "These are the last Christmas carols I'll ever hear."
Oh.
The next morning when she visited, Ward recognized his daughter instantly, and he hadn't, in
Oh my
in a
God.
while. And for the next 2 days they spoke. It was as if his mind had been unplugged for so many years, she remembers, and then all of a sudden it got plugged back in again.
Wow.
Then he lost consciousness. 2 days later, he died. That same article has the story of a woman named Tina who witnessed terminal lucidity with her dad, Marshall. Her dad was someone who she described as never giving up. He had a pretty tough upbringing and had his right leg blown off in the army.
Jeez.
After stepping on a mine in 1944. But in 2008, he entered hospice care as he was suffering with multiple myeloma, which is a type of cancer. And it says, quote, "As a person's organs begin to fail, they get metabolic waste material in their bloodstream and their brain, and it mimics dementia." She explains, "They lose the ability to really process. What I experienced with my dad was that we got to watch him very slowly fade away. He became confused. He knew who we were, but he greatly withdrew from being interactive with us. He was in the room, but not in the room. In his body, but not in his body. It was a heartbreaking process. After an ambulance delivered Marshall to the hospice, the staff introduced themselves. The chef said, 'Mr. McMillan, I'm the head of the kitchen, and you can have anything you want.' My dad said, 'Could I have a milkshake?' I was standing there with the administrator and I whispered, 'He's diabetic. He can't have that.' And she squeezed my arm and said, 'Honey, none of that matters now.'" So that was hard. Soon after that, her father began experiencing visits from people who were already dead. One day I walked in and he said, "You see that room across the hall? Your mother and your grandmother and your Aunt Dot have been in there just cackling up a storm. And those are all dead people."
Oh my God.
But one Friday, Marshall snapped out of it. He was sitting up in bed. We saw him talking to somebody and the color was back in his cheeks. There was all this excitement in the room. He was back to being himself. He was a very, very smart man, a very astute commentator on the human condition, and he was back to commentating, laughs McMillan. One of the staff brought him his favorite drink, but he rejected it. Now he was aware that he couldn't have a milkshake. He said, "You can't give me that." For the next few days, he was back to his old self. But after that, he once more withdrew from interaction, falling into complete and utter separation.
Wow.
So that's terminal lucidity. There is ongoing research today, and it will be incredibly interesting to see if one day they can definitely determine what is causing this phenomenon and maybe find a cure for things like Alzheimer's or dementia or just anything.
God, I know. That's incredible. And when you were telling me about the milkshake thing, it reminded me of when your sister's dad passed away and he was in the hospital.
He loved a martini. They were like, what do you want to drink? Like, kind of like, what do you want your last meal?
Yeah.
You know? And he's like, I want a martini. And he couldn't sip it. So they soaked a sponge, like a medical sponge or whatever, in the martini and then just let him like suck on it. I love it.
That's so funny.
He was the best.
Wild guy.
Yes.
Oh my God. Well, that was incredible.
Sorry that you cried, my girly girl.
Sorry your loved one has dementia.
I know.
Oh man, if that's not life.
God, it's fucking wild.
It's a wild ride. Well, we're going to take a quick break. And then when we come back, I'm going to be bringing us back to our early days of obituary. That's all I'll say.
Okay.
We'll be right back.
And we're back. What had you spinning in your coffin this week?
Madison, I am on my OG obituary shit today.
Ooh.
Cannot believe we have never talked about this before. One of my favorite episodes my favorite topics that we've ever covered on the show was back in the early days when we covered moirologists.
Oh, who could forget?
AKA professional mourners that are hired to wail at somebody's funeral. It's something that we included in our book, and it's just such a standout to me. Like when I think of core obituary memories,
yes,
I remember talking about that.
Absolutely.
Well, today I present to you a funeral mute.
Okay.
I got chills learning about this in the best way. I'm like, it made me excited for Halloween time. I don't know why, but you'll hear it and maybe you'll feel the same.
Okay.
So, the tradition of funeral mutes, also known as just mutes, can be traced back to the 18th and 19th centuries in Britain. So, skip the shower, put down that razor because, baby, we're going back to the Victorian era.
Skip the toothbrush.
Yeah, just nasty. God. Whenever I see things about it, people are like, oh, I just know it stunk.
Oh, I saw something the other day that was from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. It was like the grandparents sitting in the bed and like that house. And they're like, oh, fuck, I just know this place stunk.
Oh, it reeked. Now, unlike a moirologist whose goal was really to convey this like over-the-top mourning experience for attendees, funeral mutes were professional mourners who were hired to attend funerals and stand silently with a sad look on their face.
Oh.
Often they were at the head of the procession, or they stood by the door, like the entrance to the deceased person's home.
Oh, wow. Okay.
They were typically dressed in somber, dark clothing. Sometimes they would wear veils over their faces to symbolize grief and mourning. And according to some sources, they also wore these like pointed caps and long black capes.
Cool.
I thought that was so rad. Now, the role of a funeral mute was both symbolic and practical. Like, symbolically, their presence represented the community's respect for the deceased person and the family's mourning. And practically, they helped to sort of set a tone of dignity for the funeral proceedings.
So, like, different from a professional mourner or wailer, like, they're standing there dignified.
Yeah,
they're not
they're, like,
making a scene.
Exactly.
Okay.
Funeral mutes were part of a larger trend of elaborate and ritualized Victorian funerals, which included a variety of customs and professions that we've talked about, dedicated to ensuring that their deceased received a proper and respectful send-off. And I tried looking into like if there was any famous or notorious funeral mutes, but unfortunately they didn't really keep records of that kind of stuff.
Well, they were too classy.
Yeah.
They were just there and gone. Yeah.
But there is one famous example of funeral mutes in Charles Dickens's literature. In Martin Chuzzlewit, Dickens describes the character of Mr. Mould, an undertaker who employs a pair of funeral mutes. Dickens' portrayal, while exaggerated for effect, captures the somber and sometimes morbid fascination with death and mourning practices during the Victorian era. And it made me want to read an excerpt. And I was also looking online, and in the Victorian Book of the Dead, I think they also mentioned mutes. That was something that came up. So I want to kind of dive back in there and see if we can find anything in there. But yeah, funeral mutes really highlight the cultural significance and eccentric nature of 19th century Britain. And most often, the people that were acting as funeral mutes were day laborers who kind of took on the job to make some extra money.
Okay.
And aside from extra coins, they usually, I just picture, okay, I need you to get the visual with me. So picture being just outside of a cool Victorian home. And there's just someone there standing kind of stoic and somber.
Yes.
They've got they're all in black with a pointed cap and a cape. And they would bring them gin. A glass of gin so that they could keep warm if they were standing outside on a chilly day or evening when the funeral was being held. But really, it's kind of I guess kind of the opposite of a moirologist. A moirologist is so I'm going to make this big elaborate thing so everybody knows how much this person was loved, versus them standing outside and being I'm here to set the tone that this is deep. Everyone's in their deep mourning and we need to respect that.
Oh, I love that.
I thought it was really cool. And I'm I want to hire those for my funeral.
I know.
Just two guys standing outside in capes.
I want both.
Yeah.
I want it to be a roller coaster,
Yeah, like this show, just a roller coaster of emotions. The use of funeral mutes did decline in the late 19th and early 20th centuries as attitudes towards death and mourning evolved, becoming more private and less formalized. Which is something that I love, a celebration of life. I mean, we always are changing our minds on what we want and what we like.
Yeah.
But I do feel like for a wedding, I like when weddings are super formal, super nice.
Yeah.
And I feel like having a really classy funeral would be really pretty too, with a classic hearse and all
Totally.
things.
And everyone just be sad.
Oh,
Please.
We're not celebrating my life, babe. We're mourning it.
Yeah.
But I actually have an article from The Guardian as well. So
they've been killing it.
The Guardian for fucking churning out shit so that we have content to talk about. No, but this was cool. So this was actually published in May of this year. And the headline said, "I went to the funerals of complete strangers, and this is what I learned about the living," by Ruby Todd.
Okay.
Quote, "In Victorian England, it was common to hire professional mourners. These people, known as funeral mutes, presented at funerals like mythic figures in black capes and peaked top hats, holding staffs, often in pairs, and always in silence. They did what they were paid for, composed their faces into masks of sorrow, as if to relieve the real mourners of the task. The tradition of the funeral mute is now lost to time, but the diversity of such rituals persists across places and cultures, revealing truths about how a given culture views not only death, but life itself. I'd known this on a theoretical level, some years ago in the advent of my grandmother's death, but it was in the midst of throwing rose petals on her coffin in my parents' country garden during the informal service we'd planned, when I realized on a visceral level that funerals offer far more to the living than simply the chance to gather together in grief. In the months that followed, I found myself in a funereal mindset, preoccupied by a scale of loss that eclipsed previously held worries. Life on this planet felt increasingly precarious to me, which induced an existential anxiety that sometimes left me dizzy. It left me longing for the kinds of symbolic frameworks that are now absent from so many of our lives, except perhaps when it comes to funerals." And so this article goes on to say, quote, "This is how I came to find myself scrolling through the pages of a funeral listings site called Heaven Address, noting the times and locations of public funeral services that I might attend as a stranger. I hoped in doing so I might learn something. Obviously, there were ethical questions to consider. In the end, I arrived at a list of resolutions. I will not attend services small enough for my presence to be conspicuous. I will not sit near the the front. I will not join in any cordage. I set out on a Saturday for a service on the Victorian coast, trying not to anticipate exactly what, if anything, I might discover, while feeling a strange affinity with the dour-looking funeral mutes I'd seen in old photographs. The service, for an elderly man, was at a funeral home chapel with cream carpet and a discreet, insulated air. Mourners spoke in low tones over refreshments and filed in and out of the chapel, where the image of a smiling, snaggle-toothed man was projected onto a screen. Eventually, the mourners were invited to each take a rose and place it on the coffin. Apart from this simple ritual, which I left to the real mourners, there was to be no formal ceremony, and so I walked back into the day, thinking of how the atmosphere had felt as controlled and anonymous as a showroom. The next service was held at a Catholic church on a rainy morning. The air inside was chill. As I took my seat at the back, I noticed no one had removed their coats. After the priest opened the service in both English and Polish, the man's daughter rose to the pulpit. She spoke of a proud man who had worked hard to build a life in Melbourne after being liberated from a labor camp in Poland. He had been a keen gardener and generous. He had informed her in his final days that his next-door neighbor should have his orchids. I'm going to skip a few parts, but it says, as the crowd followed the procession out and the music faded, I confronted the fact that I, a stranger here, had cried. It was a trespass, an impropriety. I had not known the dead man or his family. My rational self was appalled, but the force of the funeral had acted on my body. A thought occurred to me as I sat there, the kind of thought that feels new only because the body has caught on to what the mind already knows. The purpose of a funeral, in its gathering of witnesses and in its formal ritual, is to stage and structure a communal movement of emotion. It is a space for love and grief in their deepest concentration to collect, to be measured, to be witnessed, and at last moved through the body. It is our chance for a final formal act of love. It is a means of delivering ourselves towards the new world without someone. And it's a reminder to the living to live.
Wow.
So I thought that was just great. But yeah, funeral mutes, man.
Funeral mutes.
A new favorite of mine.
I know.
And I wish so badly we had known this before the book.
I know.
Maybe the second one.
Yeah. Totally.
Oh, man.
Oh, Lord.
Well.
What great coffin spinners this week.
I know. But that was really an emotional roller coaster.
That really was. Yeah, really was.
But let's talk about some other great ways to memorialize someone with an obituary, perhaps?
Yes. Okay. I have the obituary for Charles Cyphers, and this is from sci-fi.com, and you'll see why. Charles Cyphers, a veteran of the U.S. Navy and the actor who played Haddonfield Sheriff Lee Brackett in director John Carpenter's seminal slasher film Halloween, 1978, recently passed away in Tucson, Arizona at the age of 85 following a brief illness. Born in Niagara Falls, New York, on August 4th, 1939, Cyphers enjoyed dozens of roles across the realms of film, television, and theater throughout an acting career that spanned nearly half a century. I started studying acting at 21, and I didn't get my first paid job until I was 31, he said during a 2022 interview with Slimehouse. Beyond his role in the Halloween franchise, which he revisited twice, as well as many other Carpenter films, his other genre bona fides include Freddy's Nightmares, Sequest 2032, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and Sliders. Charles was a lovable and sensitive man, his manager Chris Rowe said in a statement provided to Variety. He always had the best stories and he got a full performance while he told you. He was a close friend and client of many years who will be dearly missed. Cyphers reprised the role of Sheriff Brackett, the first character in the franchise to utter the famous line, "Everyone's entitled to one good scare," in Halloween 2, 1980, and Halloween Kills, 2021.
I love the Halloween franchise so much.
Me too. The latter film turned out to be his final screen appearance. To be called back again in a film, it's unheard of after 40 years. Most people are dead, a smiling Cyphers told Slimehouse. Fortunately, I didn't die, so they brought me back. It was wonderful to come back and do it again and be paid. I enjoyed it.
I love it. Iconic. Anyone who has anything to do with those films, honestly, iconic.
Iconic. I know. I agree.
Okay, well, I have an icon. This was sent to us on Instagram, actually, and I had to track down the guy's real name, but I found the original obituary, and his name was Dick Bagby. It says, Dick Richard Barrett Bagby, age 90, received a report back to dust order from his commanding officer, the Lord God Almighty, on Saturday, July 20th, 2024. He was very disappointed, but not entirely surprised to learn that his time was up, as he had so thoroughly enjoyed life. Being in sales the majority of his working life, Dick was blessed with unbounded optimism. His watchword was, things always work out right in the end. If they aren't working out right, that isn't the end. In priority order, he most loved the Lord God Almighty, his wonderful wife Sylvia, his 3 children, Christine, Jim, and Rob, his grandchildren, his sisters, his son-in-law, his country, the United States Marine Corps, flying fighter jets, helping people conquer addictions, and golf. Although he was an excellent employee and salesman for large firms such as IBM, Dun & Bradstreet, and Oracle Corporation, Dick had the best time in business life working with his friends at Information Associates, a small firm in upstate New York, where his penchant for having a fun time at work was better tolerated than at the larger firms. On the downside, Dick was somewhat of a free spirit, slightly opinionated, prone to exaggeration, and dismissive of politicians of all stripes. Yup. On the bright side, however, he was continually working to mitigate these defects. Memorial services, lieu of flowers, throw a nickel on the grass.
I love that.
A good one.
That is so funny.
I know.
Really well written, and I love a list in an obituary.
Oh, yeah. We love a little list on this show. Well, we have spun in our coffins.
We have bitched our obituaries.
Means it's time for some dumb
ass
criminals. Who you got?
Okay, I have something from thedailynewsreported.com because I saw this on Instagram and there were different articles about it, and so I chose this one. This is the guy's mugshot. I'll start with that.
Meep.
Meep. Ventura, California. Dylan McEwen, 36, was arrested early this afternoon after dozens of calls rang into the Ventura Police Department complaining of a man who was telling parents that their babies were ugly while they were entering a local Walmart.
Me when I lose it.
I know. McEwen stood off to the side of the entrance door at Walmart on South Victoria Boulevard, and when a parent was approaching with their baby, he would take a look, and if he thought they were ugly, he would say so. Many people blew him off as just an emotionally disturbed individual, but several people left in tears at the mean things he said to their kids. I was just telling them the truth. I may be an asshole, but at least I'm an honest asshole. McEwen told one of our reporters. Regardless of his being honest, he was still harassing people, and public harassment is against the law. He was so offensive for absolutely no reason. Why would he say my child is ugly when obviously his ugliness runs much deeper, a parent told us, under the condition of anonymity. Dylan has a history of being a truth teller and was arrested just this past summer for harassment and intimidation for telling overweight folks on the beach that they needed to cover up. Oh, God, this is bad. Or they may be mistaken for a whale and harpooned.
Jesus.
This individual has been a public nuisance. On more than one occasion, the district attorney is aware of his being a repeat offender and is compiling a strong case against him, Sergeant Larry Denton told us. McEwen is being sent off for a 72-hour psychological evaluation to determine his competency. Please stay tuned to dailynewsreported.com as more of this story unfolds. So there you have it. That was from March 1st, 2023.
I love it. I love it. He said, the sky is blue, people.
The sky is blue and your baby's ugly.
With the way people are posting their babies, someone needs to tell them.
Someone needs to tell some of them. Okay, who do you got?
You.
Why? What?
I asked AI.
What?
I did. I asked AI to write an obituary, or not an obituary,
Oh, shit,
a
he
dumb
wants you
criminal
dead.
for you. I said, please write a news article about a dumb criminal named Madison Reyes.
Oh,
that was all I said to it.
fuck.
That was the only instructions, and it delivered. It said, Madison Reyes, the world's worst criminal, fails at crime again.
Oh, shit, I would.
In what can only be described as a series of unfortunate events, Madison Reyes, the self-proclaimed criminal mastermind, has once again proven that a life of crime isn't for everyone. Known for her bumbling attempts at petty theft. Okay, Mervyn.
True, Mervyn's when I'm 13.
Madison's latest escapade has left both the police and the public in stitches.
I'm sorry.
Last Thursday, Madison Reyes made headlines when she attempted to rob a local bakery,
Oh, fuck, I would.
armed with nothing more than a banana.
I would.
Witnesses report that she dramatically entered the shop, waving the fruit and demanding all the dough, literally and figuratively. The shop owner, clearly unimpressed and slightly confused, offered her a complimentary loaf of bread, which Madison promptly
That's not gonna
accepted
do
before trying to flee the scene.
Oh, fuck.
However, her getaway was far from smooth. As she turned to make her grand escape, she slipped on a stray donut, landing face first in a display of cupcakes.
Not a donut. You'd think that the banana I'd slip.
Covered in frosting and sprinkles, Madison tried to regain her composure, but was
Yum.
swiftly apprehended by the police, who had been called by a customer. This isn't the first time Madison has botched a crime. Last month, she attempted to break into a car using a cooked spaghetti noodle, only to be caught when she got stuck in the partially opened window. And who could forget the time she tried to rob a bank by passing a note written in invisible ink? The teller, unable to read her demand, simply handed her a pamphlet on savings accounts and wished her a good day.
Oh, God, the shade.
Madison's criminal career has been marked by a series of such absurd failures. When asked about her choice of tools, she explained, "I read somewhere that unconventional methods are the best way to avoid detection.
I would.
Clearly, I need better sources." Despite her ineptitude, Madison remains undeterred. In her latest court appearance, she vowed to step up her game and assured the judge that her next attempt would be legendary. The judge, trying to suppress laughter, sentenced her to community service and suggested she consider a different line of work. Local residents have started a fan club, affectionately dubbing her Madcap Madison, and eagerly await her next misadventure. One can only hope that Madison Reyes eventually realizes that some people are simply not cut out for a life of crime, or at the very least, invest in a proper criminal handbook. Until then, the city remains on high alert for more of her hilarious, inept escapades. Stay tuned for the next episode of Madcap Madison's Adventures in Ineptitude.
Fuck. It came for me.
Hard.
Oh, my God.
I give you full permission to do that for me next week. But
You know what? I might.
I was going to tell you, like, oh, we should both do this. But I was like, I'm just going to surprise you.
Oh, I love it.
Oh my God. Well, that's it for the week. So much fucking exciting stuff, you guys. Go to our website, obituarypodcast.com, to get tickets for all of our upcoming events. All of them. Come to all of them, honestly. Come on.
to
One life to live.
everything.
You're going to die.
Yeah, come on.
Do it. There's no cash drawer in the coffin. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, you don't see a ATM machine being hauled behind a hearse.
Yeah. And then you can buy our book at prh.com/obituary. And most importantly, go rate, review, check out our new show, Gossip's Bridal. We hope you love it. You sneezed. God, I've been trying to sneeze this whole episode.
Oh, God.
You took it.
I took it. I stole the sneeze. That's added to my
Add it
list
to the
of
list. She stole the
criminal
sneeze.
history.
That's it for the week. We'll see you next week with some more coffin spinners
And obituaries.
and dumb
Ass
criminals. Goodbye.
Goodbye.